Okay, I thought I'd take just a minute to show you some of the flat plane pieces that I've done in my life, and and also to show you, to get more interested in carving a lot of times, is to show people some of the work that you can do, some of the work that you can develop, and as you can see, most of my figures, they are figures of a figure carver. I do more people than I do animals. But these are the flat plane style of carving that I do, and as you can see, I do larger figures from this. From this flat plane guy here. That's more of the Swedish style carving of the man with the pinstripe pants and the cigar in his mouth. And the thinner figure, as you might see right here, as you start to look at him, but you can see the facial cuts and that is the style of the flat plane that I talk about. A lot of people have never heard of flat plane type carving, and here's the figure, one of the first figures that I did on the video when he's done and he's finished. And the flat plane, like I said, I leave the carving in sort of a rough way. And this type of carving was originated in Scandinavia and in Sweden and places like that. Here's the hobo that I did. And as you can see, I laid the cuts into them to sort of give it that look in such a way. And this is the style that I just dearly love. I love to do it. Here's knock over stuff. Here is a man that, as you can see, the deep cuts into the face, as you say, and he's a flat plane gentleman. You see the way that the way that he is cut, and then he is painted, and this is what is called flat plane carving. And it's the flat planes. You can see the way that the shoes are cut up and such as that as we go by. Now, one of my favorites, of course, is doing miniature work, and here's a miniature flat plane pieces, several of them that I do, and I just love this form of carving. I really do. But these only stand about 3 inches tall, but I just, like I said, the flat plane style. Here's another way of doing the face that's sort of got him looking up in such a way. And then I was also doing some pieces where, these are very, very small pieces, where I made the head a whole lot bigger and emphasized the face more as it comes along. Of course, I recently showed you this piece with the 4 people on the back. Here's another example of the flat plane carving as the facial features and the way that the carving is done. And you can see that these are all basically done with a knife and the V-tool, like I said. But this is the form of the Scandinavian type flat plane carving. Now, this right here is more of the old-timey flat plane carving, as you can see. This is called Night Out on the Town. And as you can see how I leave the cuts inside the figure itself. In other words, it's a little dusty, I'm sorry. I lay the cuts inside the figure itself, and this is the way that the Swedish used to carve years ago. The figure carvers were, and I had studied this for quite a while, a long time. In fact, here's one of the figures I've done that I did on the video, and he's all painted up, and he is done in the flat plane way, or the flat plane style, and there's several ways. Here's a little small sailor that I did in the flat plane style, and as you can see, the cuts are very deep into the figure. And right here's a hillbilly that's done into the flat plane style, as we have it. I'm sorry, it seems to collect a whole lot of dust sometimes. That I did. But when you begin to look at these figures, especially this one, this is the way the old Swedish carvers used to carve, and I had studied this type or this way for quite a while, before I began to learn to carve this way, and I began to study under and watch a man by the name of Carve, who is probably one of the biggest authorities on flat plane carving, and he's probably one of the best. But as I say, you can do just, here's a little small guy, a variety of these type figures. And if you see, or look at the face, you can see sort of the flat way that the face is carved and styled out. And this is the way, and as I said, I've been doing carving and teaching you to carve, and I find it to be one of the easiest ways, but yet when you get into real detailed flat plane, it can also be very, very difficult. But just learning how to do this is a way that that I just entirely love. But here's a fella here that's got a beard and a little cane right here. But I wanted to show you, and I've talked a lot about flat plane carving, and that is exactly, here's a guy, an old man with a cane. This is what flat plane carving is. And this is sort of the way the old Swedish carvers and Scandinavian carvers, figure carvers, used to carve. And it's taken me a long time to learn this way, but once I learned it, I absolutely love to do it. And I wanted to take just a little while to show you some of the figures and what I was explaining. Here's a miniature 3-inch guy in the flat plane way. Explain to you and show you what is a flat plane carving, and I have spoken about it a lot. And it's, you know, you can learn to carve any way that you wish, but I have always learned to do it this way and enjoy it this way. So I just wanted to show you that for a little while. Thank you.